Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and we have passed the eval. Um, Absolute banger of a trade, $1,000 made on this beautiful trade. But I gotta be honest, I took this on pre-market. As you can see, I just so let me quickly walk you through this trade. So as you can see, ignore all these executions. Well, don't ignore them. I got a little disclaimer to make. I did try and trade Asia session. I did try and trade Asia session, and yeah, I lost. I pretty much lost $1,000 on yesterday on Asia session, an Asia session, and then this morning, um, I smashed a $2,000 take profit right over here for a 1 to 4 R, pretty much. And yeah, so we passed the evaluation. We made $2,000 this morning on the evaluation, and we passed it. Um, yeah, it's pretty good. Let me show you right over here. So this was the account, and yeah, this was the account pretty much. Yeah, all the trades I took today, we made $1,000, thousand, and that's pretty much it. So this is the account. These are the trades. As you can see right over here, the P&L, total P&L, $1,023, and the account balance is 5,300, 128. So obviously it's going to take like until the end of the trading day for us to get our funded account. But that is pretty much it. So that's like the most important, like not the most important, but that's like the biggest like first step in order to start getting payouts is obviously to pass the evaluation account. And yeah, that's the play. So let me quickly go and run you through this trade. I'm gonna completely ignore the trades yesterday from Asia session because those don't count because like I was just trying to gamble. But if I'm being honest, like I was just trying to pass it. But anyways, so let's go in the daily time frame. Um, what the hell, bro? Let's go in the daily time frame. And all right. So pretty much coming into the morning, um, we pretty much tapped this monthly for value gap, right? That was like 2 days ago on Friday. And then yesterday, Monday, was a very choppy day. Now we did get a whole retracement all the way up here, and then we closed like back down over here. But what ended up happening is that we have put an SMT with ES, right? So if I open ES right over here, you can see that ES swept this low, right? You see this low over here, right? And then ES swept the low. So that pretty much is an SMT for us, right? So that means NASDAQ swept the SMT. So people confuse SMTs for like something like more than it is, like it actually is. SMT is not like this incredible confluence you have to have every single trade. It just pretty much signals that, let's say if we do have an SMT and ES swept this low, but NASDAQ didn't, it pretty much acts as if NASDAQ swept it as well. So it's pretty much just a liquidity sweep. It's nothing too crazy. It's just manipulation. So one asset did sweep it, take the liquidity, and one asset did not. That counts for us as a liquidity sweep. So we can count that as that NASDAQ already took the objective and we can start looking for a reversal. So what is my draw on liquidity? My draw on liquidity is still the daily fair value gap above. So pretty much yesterday we did not end up tapping it. We tapped the volume imbalance, but we didn't tap the actual daily fair value gap. So in my eyes, we're tapping the daily fair value gap today. So we either go lower, tap the 4 hour, and from there go to the daily gap, or we tap the daily gap and from there we go to the 4 hour. That was pretty much my two scenarios coming into the day. But obviously, the higher, like the most probable scenario for me was we tap the daily fair value gap and then we go back to the lower 4 hour. So pretty much once you have your draw on liquidity, you just need to look for an entry. And for me, I knew, like, I've seen this things like happen over and over and over and over again. And as you can see, what happened over here is that that was pre-market, so that was like around um like 9:15, we opened up a 15-minute for value gap and we tapped it. We opened up a 5-minute for value gap and we tapped it. All right. But if you go down to the 1 minute, now again, this is before market open. That was 9:17 a.m. But as I can clearly see, we have this clear high over here, this high over here, and obviously the main draw, which is the daily fair value gap right over here. All right. So in my eyes, we are like, I've seen this happen many, 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 many times. This just comes from experience. But I knew we're gonna go higher to that. And I knew that a lot of the times pre-market gives you the setup, pre-market starts distributing, and then market open just shoots higher or shoots to the direction of the draw, like no retracement, no nothing, just shoots to the direction of the draw. So I knew that that was probably gonna happen. Obviously, there's no 100%, and no one can be right 100% of the time, but I was willing to like take the risk on that. So I was looking for an inversion to take, but as you can see, this leg on the 1 minute is like absolutely terrible. Like we don't even have a single fair value gap. Maybe no, we literally don't have a single fair value gap. So I went down to the 30 seconds, and again, the only fair value gap we had was like right over here. This fair value gap, like over here. So what I ended up doing is I ended up taking the entry after this candle closure. I took the entry right over here. So I waited for like so pretty much I wanted to like wait for this 30-second inversion right over here. But like I kind of knew that we're gonna like not inverse it, but then like really inverse it. You know what I mean? Like we're not gonna inverse it by like a tick, like you can see over here, and then we're just gonna run higher and like get a bad entry. So I was like, all right, I know we're going higher. We did have like this CISD entry right over here. Um, let me put the CISD over here. So we did have a CISD over here, which is a chain in state of delivery. So in my eyes, I'm like taking this trade. And as you can see, my stop was 12 points. So in my eyes, I'm taking it with too many, right? Because I want to risk $500 per trade, right? And I lost $1,000 in Asia session. So pretty much my account was around 51,000, like 51,000. So I needed $2,000 to pass. And yeah, so in my eyes, this is a perfect opportunity to risk like $500 and enter with 2 minutes. So I take this trade with mini contracts, and I just let it run. Like at that point, like it's in the market's hand. A little bit of drawdown first, but that's okay. But then we get this candle, and then we get the 30-second inversion right over here. Right. So now we inverse this gap. And now when this happened, I'm like, all right, we're running to TP, like, or at least towards this high right over here. Right. So I let it run. I let it run. We get this big candle right over here. And now in my eyes, okay, at this point, ES swept this high. Okay. This is not synced, but ES swept the high already. All right. So we did have a bearish SMT over here. So what I wanted to do is move my stop loss to break even. If it was a funded account, I would definitely be moving my stop loss to break even. But because this is an eval, me personally, because I already know how to trade, I already got payouts, I already know what I'm doing. I wanted to be I'm more aggressive on evaluations. Like 100%, I'm more aggressive. So we got the CISD, we got the highest time frame inversion of the only fair value gap in the leg, which was the 30 seconds, like right over here. So in my eyes, all right, we are going like higher, like, you know what I mean? So we had this 1 minute over here, but it was a 30-second as well. Okay. So in my eyes, okay, if we want to keep going higher, we're going to respect this for value gap right over here. And what we end up doing is actually respect it and hold it. Let me fast forward it a little bit. You see, we kind of got edged a little bit to the downside. That's what, like, I didn't want to like move it, my stop loss to break even at this point. But yeah, so I let it run. So, and then once we hit this high right over here, and again, this is like pre-market, that's 925. We get this huge ass candle that takes out the internal high right over here, right? So first of all, I'm already up like nice right now. I'm up like $1,000 on the account on this trade. So in my head, I'm like, okay, do I close it? Do I close it? Take the $1,000, like make back the loss from yesterday from Asia session, and then like call it a day. Wait for the markets, like wait for the session to open, and like take it slower. But I was like, no, Why did I say no? Because the draw and liquidity is so obvious to that daily for value gap. We don't have any for value gaps over here to stop us. We have all these like ran like accumulation highs over here. We got the CISD. We got the reaction from a 15-minute for value gap, from a 5-minute for value gap. Our stop loss is protected. Now that I moved my stop loss to break even, it's not protected because this low was a 15-minute and 5-minute low that was inside a 15 and 5-minute for value gap. So this low is protected. But at this point, once we swept this, I said, all right, there's no reason for us to go back here, like unless we want to drop again. So I was like debating whether I should close or not. But then again, the draw and liquidity was so obvious, and this is an evaluation account. Maybe on a funded account, I would have been like, all right, let me take the $1,000 and call it a day. But I was like, I knew I wanted to pass the evaluation. Like I knew like this is such an obvious stage. This is such an A plus trade, you know? So I let it run. And then what ended up happening is we had this like a little of a candle, like you see this big wick that I did not like. But again, we have this big 1 minute for value gap over here that should be able to protect us and take us lower. Now in a funded account, I would have like definitely put my stop loss back like around over here, right under the fair value gap, because at the end of the day, like if we're bullish, it's not gonna go like below this. Like this fair value gap should send us higher. And as you can see, this is exactly what happened. We tapped the 1 minute fair value gap like perfectly, and then we get this huge ass candle over here. And at this point, I'm like, all right, we're hitting take profit. It's just like a matter of time. And then we get another nice candle, another nice candle, and then yeah, we pretty much like get a perfect like 1 to 4.3 R. Over here, I like started choking the position. You know, I started like securing $1,000 out of like 1.5K, 1.6K, 1.7K. Like, you know, just in case we get like this pullback, like take me out. You know, we're gonna have like $200 left to pass the eval. So in my eyes, it was like fine, but I started choking it. But overall, we just smashed take profit. We hit the daily for value gap like as soon as before market even opened, right? So then from there, it's like, I don't care anymore. Then my market opened right over here. And then obviously we started like dumping. But I don't care anymore. We passed the eval. Like that was the beautiful trade, you know? And yes, such a clean trade. Came pre-market, so you know some guys can say, some people will say like, oh, I don't trade pre-market, blah 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 blah. Obviously, I don't trade pre-market usually, but like this was such a clean setup. Like I was already on the charts. I was like, you know, I had to take it. I had to take it because I knew it. I've seen this happen so many times that pre-market just gives you the setup, and then like by the time market opens, like you get no setup, draws has been taken already, and you know that's pretty much it. So I was willing to like take the risk and take that setup, and that is pretty much it. So thank you for watching today's video. Right, so we have passed the eval now, and now we're entering the actual like nice phase. All right, now we're entering the funded stage where we can start racking those payouts. You know, obviously got to build a buffer first. So I'm trading a trade. If I select account, I'm going to choose the daily payout accounts. I'm not going to choose like the normal one. I'm just going to choose the daily payouts. So we can pretty much withdraw up to $1,000 per day on these 50Ks. But you need to build a 2.1K buffer first. So we need to build a 2.1K buffer first, and then we can start taking anything above that. So the goal is first make $2,100, have the buffer, and then anything you make above of that, withdraw. Now, my rules for these like type of accounts, if you guys are doing kind of this challenge together with me, my rule for this type of account is like withdraw. Okay, if you make like, even if you make $500 and you wanted to make 1,000, take that $500. Like, okay, and I mean like if your account is like 2.6K, 2.5K, take that money every single trade. Like every single day, you can like literally withdraw money every single day. So why would you take that $200? Why wouldn't you take that $300? Why wouldn't you take that $500? It's like a nice daily paycheck. Like some people work 8 hours, 10 hours for like $200, $300, and you just made it from clicking your like a button on your computer. Why don't you take that? Like take it. You know what I mean? Take the goddamn money. Take the payout every single day. Take the payout, right? So that's my rule with these accounts. Like as long as you're above the buffer and you made the profits necessary to take a payout, take the payout, right? Do not try to go for max payouts every single day. Yes, some days you're going to make max payout. Some days you're going to take a small payout, but just take the payout. So that's what I'm going to do with these type of accounts. Like I'm just going to take the payouts, just going to make the money. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully, again, obviously, you shouldn't really blow the account if you're trading properly, but there you go. So we started the challenge, a fresh 50K eval. We passed it in about a week or two. I think, yeah, a week or so, a little bit over a week. And that is pretty much it. So yeah, next video is gonna be the funded account. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. I hope you guys are gonna make money with me on this. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. So peace out, guys. Have a great day.